When I stopped eating animals, I made the connection. I had a shift of consciousness, a paradigm shift. In other words, I didn't see different things. I saw the same things differently. Remember how different your meat looked to you when I told you you were eating a golden retriever? That's how all meat suddenly looked to me. It's just interesting how the gaps in our consciousness only become visible when they start to disappear. And as the gap in my consciousness closed, my mind opened. I wanted to learn the truth about animal agriculture. It was a truth that had been right in front of me, all around me, but that I had been unable or unwilling to see. And I needed to understand how, when it came to eating animals, rational, caring people, just like myself, could, in the words of psychiatrist and social activist Robert J. Lifton, just stop thinking. So I spent about 20 years looking for answers, including about a decade of research that culminated in my doctoral dissertation on the psychology of eating meat. And what I found was to dramatically change the way that I and others working in psychology and social justice thought about the issue of eating animals. So what I found is that there's an invisible belief system that conditions us to eat certain animals. And this is the belief system I came to call Carnism. It's the opposite of veganism. Now, Carnism is a special kind of belief system or ideology. It's a dominant ideology. It's invisible, entrenched. It shapes norms, beliefs, behaviors, etc. And it's also a violent ideology. Meat cannot be procured without killing. And dominant violent ideologies, such as Carnism, need to use a set of social and psychological defense mechanisms to enable humane people to participate in inhumane practices without fully realizing what they're doing. In other words, Carnism teaches us how not to feel. Now, the primary defense of Carnism is denial. If we deny there's a problem in the first place, then we don't have to do anything about it. Denial is expressed through invisibility. One way Carnism remains invisible is by remaining unnamed. If we don't name it, we can't think about it. We can't talk about it or challenge it or question it. The invisibility of Carnism is why eating animals appears to be a given rather than a choice. And Carnism also keeps its victims out of sight and therefore conveniently out of public consciousness. And as social critic, author, and ecofeminist Carol J. Adams tells us, if the problem is invisible, then there will be ethical invisibility.